veto of children's health insurance being sustained by the conservative minority in the House, almost every Republican candidate for president supports that veto, greatly out of step with voters in both the Democratic and Republican parties. McCain being one of them. McCain said in the most recent debate that we should take the C out of S-chip because it's not for kids, it's for everybody, like every other entitlement program. But in fact, the bill that was passed, there's only a very small number of adults in the program, and the bill that Bush vetoed would have ended that practice and shifted those adults into Medicaid. So the proper question to McCain would be, since that bill actually addressed your concern, what was the real reason you supported the veto of children's health insurance?
Or put another way, why are you lying about this? Why are you coming up with a fake excuse for not voting for it? I guess it's Chris Wallace. Did Chris Wallace ask this fairly obvious question?
No, because children's health insurance didn't come up at all on Fox News Sunday.
Oh.
Woof, woof.
Why would it? I guess Fox News doesn't want to talk about that.
Well, I'm sad to say I don't believe it came up on any of the network news shows this week, even though it was the biggest domestic issue of the past week. No one thought it merited discussing the aftermath of the veto.
Yeah, well, that's because they all had to shove that aside because of the nomination hearings for the new Attorney General.
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't think Mukasey was even mentioned on these shows. We were feeded to a great interview with Tim Russert and Stephen Colbert, which I actually have to say I could not even sit through. It was rather painful to watch. Russert, not a good straight man. All right. Mitt, multiple choice Mitt on Face the Nation. All right, that's great.
Now, Mitt Romney was just endorsed by Bob Jones III, the former president of Bob Jones University. You may remember the school that once banned interracial dating. Now they've modified that you can date people from other races with parental approval.
Oh, that's very kind.
They're speeding into the 21st century. He has said of Mormonism as well as Catholicism that they are cults and that they're frightening.
Yes.
So the question to Romney should be why would you embrace this endorsement of this bigoted man, and what does it say about you?
Well, let's see what it says about you, because that question was, in fact, it was asked, wasn't it, Bill?
It was actually asked.
Wow. It's been a while. So let's hear Mitt Romney's strong defense that he is not the member of a cult and that what he practices is not frightening. I'm sure what any man with any level of integrity would have said, well, I reject the endorsement. Because this guy obviously is sort of a nut job. Let's play.
Bob Jones, who heads Bob Jones University down in South Carolina, recently endorsed you, and he said this week that he is completely opposed to the doctrines of Mormonism, but he said he preferred your erroneous faith to Hillary Rodham Clinton's lack of religion.
Isn't that a great line?
Do you accept that endorsement?
Oh, I'm happy to receive endorsements from individuals, and of course we have different faiths. I'm not expecting him to endorse my faith. I'm not asking anyone to do that. I'm asking him to look at me as an American and judge my values, learn about me and my family, my character, and decide whether I could help America at a critical time. And I'm pleased that you have a evangelical Christian leader who says, look, Mitt Romney's a guy who is a social conservative, an economic conservative, a foreign policy conservative. Those three branches, if you will, of conservatism have to be united if we're going to win the White House.
I can't even listen anymore to this answer. So basically, Mitt Romney said, yeah, no, I like it. I'm a whore. And anybody's going to endorse me. And, you know, he's not saying, he's not judging my faith. He's judging Hillary Clinton's faith.
Who he said didn't have any faith at all, despite the fact that she is a practicing Christian. So he was, Bob Jones was abhorrent on several fronts, and Mitt Romney lapped it up. And I would think anyone of his own faith watching that disgusting spectacle should be completely appalled.
Yeah, it was, well, you know, Mitt Romney standing his ground is not something that we have to worry about, really, I think. Let's go to the former governor, Mike Huckabee, who did quite well in the I guess the in-person polling at this crazy-ass values voters, the next in line. All right, here is, he was on Fox News Sunday again.
Is making some momentum with Sam Brownback dropping out. He appears to be the choice of many social conservatives. He swamped the field yesterday of those who attended the Values Voter Summit. So it's time to start looking at his actual proposals. His signature domestic proposal is what he calls the fair tax. It would abolish the IRS and abolish the federal income tax, replacing it with a federal sales tax. He claims it would be 23% and would be revenue neutral, would bring in the same amount of revenue that the current tax system does. But every other objective economist that looks at this from the left and the right would actually have to be about 50% of a sales tax to make up the revenue. If you were to buy $100,000, and one conservative economist has said this actually comes out of the Church of Scientology just because they want to get the IRS off their back. And he further said that the entire scheme was a crackpot scheme. So the question for Huckabee is how can you be a top-tier presidential candidate when your signature proposal is widely derided as crackpot?
Well, that's sort of a softball for a Republican because their base is crackpot. But be that as it may, it also would put an incredible burden on poor and middle-class people because just about everything they would buy would end up costing them a larger percentage of their income as opposed to the wealthy.
Well, what Huckabee is saying is this would actually, they would get some sort of rebate, those below the poverty line, to try to mitigate that. But then you've brought the IRS back. The whole notion you're abolishing all this federal bureaucracy. You got to create a whole new bureaucracy to track all of the purchases and track the monthly income of every household in America. So the whole thing, as this conservative economist Bruce Bartlett pointed out, it just doesn't add up because it was done just to get rid of the IRS and help the Church of Scientology not to have a well thought out.
It wouldn't be the Internal Revenue Service, it would be the Internal Rebate Service.
And you'd have to find a way to go after all the businesses and collect all their sales tax money. So it just doesn't make any sense.
Bill, was the question asked by Fox News?
No discussion of Huckabee's domestic proposals actually came up.
There you have it. Well, another day. We were 1 for 3 this week, Bill.
It's a banner day.
All right, you'll be on vacation next week. We'll have one of your comrades from the Campaign for America's Future. Thanks for joining us, Bill. We'll talk to you then.
Pleasure.
We'll be right back, folks. Seder on Sunday.